Step into summer with style and ease, thanks to one of our favorite sponsors, Jeannie Kane. I finally found a wardrobe that I'm completely obsessed with. Jeannie Kane is a California brand through and through, and their staples make getting dressed effortless. Perfect for my summer aesthetic. Think minimalist and refined with pieces like luxury cashmere sweaters and iconic accessories to elevated versions of all your everyday basics. Find your new uniform at jeanniekane.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code RATCHET at checkout. That's 15% off your first order. JENNIKAYNE.com. Promo code RATCHET. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Embrace your summer aesthetic with Jeannie Kane. If the summer heat has you worried about the strength of your deodorant, listen up. I'm about to turn you on to the only deodorant you'll ever need. It's called Lumi Whole Body Deodorant, and it's formulated for all the places that tend to get stinky when the weather warms up, like your pits, your privates, and your feet. Not only does it go where other deodorants don't, it's also outrageously effective. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code RATCHET15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code RATCHET15 at LumiDeodorant.com. I know that none of you watch porn, but just in case you have any friends that do, help me pass along this important PSA. Incognito mode does not make you incognito. Check the fine print. All your late night activities are still 100% visible to a ton of third parties, unless you use ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable from New York. I was only supposed to get to New York on Wednesday, but I ended up leaving on Tuesday morning. Remember I told you that I did Bevy's radio show with her when she was in Miami, and she mentioned that she was doing a dinner with Bevy, and I kind of invited myself because I've never been to one. And I was like, oh, there's a dinner with Bevy, and I was like, I want to come, and I was like, when is it? So she gave me just enough dates and was like, we'll discuss the rest off the show. No problem. So I hit her up the next day and shamelessly was like, so hey, I know I kind of like bogarted and invited myself, but if there is actual room for me, I would like to come. And she was like, of course, Lamb. So I went ahead and changed my flight. I was supposed to stay an extra day in Miami, and I just went ahead and came to New York. Also changed my plans for New York too. I was supposed to be here from Wednesday until Sunday, and now I'm just going to be here Tuesday to Thursday. I got to travel again next week. I'm going to LA, and I just need a couple down days. I got to stop. And this is in my nature, so it's very hard for me. But I got to stop, like, being in motion. Like, I need to take more days to myself to rest. And when I'm in New York, I'm 0 to 100. I'm running around the city trying to see all the things and all the people, most importantly. And I never sit down. And my body needs to sit down. We'll talk about the details of that at another time. Some people picked up on it, but I'm not comfortable sharing just yet. I did get a day to myself in Miami on Monday. It rained a little bit in the morning, but then it cleared up. And I was like, I don't care if it's raining. I'm about to go lay on this beach. I just laid out on the beach all day. And it was kind of overcast just a little bit, like the sun kept peeking out. You know, my ass got sunburned. And I put on sunscreen. I was really good about putting it on my face because, you know, that's the moneymaker, that and my voice. And I did like a quick spray on like my shoulders, my legs, like my upper body. But I had on like a one-piece bathing suit. It had cutouts and everything, which another bad idea just to be at the beach for the day. But you know, my ass got sunburned. And because of the cutouts on my bathing suit, when I'm fully naked, my upper body looks like a giraffe. I'm like red and blotchy because of the sunburn. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, thankfully. Like, it stings a little bit. Yesterday, we got into a bit of an itchy phase, and I was like, oh, my God, people going to think I got, like, ants or something. But yeah, my black ass got sunburned. Apparently not black enough. I know all complexions of blackness, all skin can be sunburned, but I was like, I used the spray. It was 30, not 50, because I was trying to get brown. How I not get sunburned the whole time I'm in Africa and I come back to America and go sit in Miami and get sunburned? How, Sway? How? But I had a good day on the beach. And then I went over to Wynwood in Miami, one of my favorite places, because I like street art. You know, anywhere I go in the world. Amsterdam, Budapest, Rio de Janeiro, all have amazing street art. And Wynwood was one of my favorite places to go for street art. I left the beach specifically to go to Wynwood, got to Wynwood and was like, where am I? I haven't been since ABFF 2022. Wynwood is an entirely different area. Like, they got all these apartment buildings there now. I was like, did y'all gentrify Wynwood? Indeed. All these like smash burger shops, and I'm like, what happened to the little hole in the wall Mexican spots with the really strong margaritas? Not that I'm drinking, but also not that I had a temptation to drink with all of these new places. I'm like, I don't come to Wynwood for $14 cocktails and bite-sized apps for $18. Like, one of the restaurants wanted like $18 for crispy Brussels sprouts, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. But they gentrified Wynwood. And they put up all these fancy buildings that they don't want people spraying on. And I was like, yeah, that's the joy of the area. Like, y'all wanted to move to this area to be like, oh, we're living in this, like, you know, quote and unquote, hip and fun and new and interesting place. And then you move in and you put all these cookie cutter buildings in and you take out all the hip and the fun and the creativity and the art. And you charge so much that the artists can't even exist there anymore. It's Brooklyn all over again. But came to New York yesterday morning so I would bake it in time for dinner with Bevy. She was hosting a screening for this upcoming movie. It's called The Supremes at Earl's, All You Can Eat. I have the book sitting in front of me. They put it in our gift bag last night. It says it was a New York Times bestseller. I have never heard of this book in my entire life. I never heard of the movie until Bevy was like, oh, I'm doing the screening. I said yes to dinner with Bevy and then was like, wait, what are we celebrating? Okay. It's about 3 black women. I don't want to give anything away because I went in completely blind and I loved all the twists and turns of the story because I had no idea where it was going. So unless you read the book, you won't know either. 3 black women who go to this diner called Earl's All You Can Eat. It's kind of like a Steel Magnolias, but an entirely different storyline and a whole lot of black on it. The characters are amazing. It's starring Sanaa Lathan, Uzu Aduba, am I pronouncing her name right? Suzanne, Crazy Eyes, from Orange is the New Black, her. I think she just had a baby, didn't she? Like within like the last year and change. And Audrey Ellis. And then there's some newcomers. I sat next to a young lady named Tati. She has big dancer aesthetic. If she told me she did ballet or like an Alvin Ailey dancer, I would have been like, oh, okay. But she was like, no, I'm in the movie. And I was like, because she told me who her character was, she plays a young Sanaa Lathan. But also, she hadn't told me. If I just like seen her at the dinner, I wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together. Transformed. And an amazing actress. You know, people tell you, like, oh, I'm an actress. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, people tell me all the time, like, oh, I'm a writer. And then I'm like, can you write? You can write, but can you write? There's a difference. And she's like, yeah, I'm an actress. And I was like, okay, you're an actress, but can you act? Ma'am can and did. I was like, oh my gosh. There was another young woman, Kiana. I spoke with her for a while. Amazing. Electric on screen. Really, really good film. Went so many different places. And I was like, oh, is this where we're going with it? Also, I'll tell you this. I promise you this is not giving any plot away. Mekhi Phifer is in the film. He doesn't have a lot of lines. He doesn't have a lot of screen time. But with the time that he does have, I didn't know he had it in him. We've been watching Mekhi Phifer act for like, 20, 30 years now. I literally did not know he was capable of some of the acting that he did in this film. He gave us the good Denzel glory tier. And I was like, I didn't know you had it in you, sir. I did not know. It's a testament to actors, black actors specifically, not having story and script to work with that allows them to show their range. There is no reason that Mekhi Phifer should be damn near 50 years old, if not over 50, and I'm just figuring out, oh shit, he could do that? He was stressed out in this film about how he was in the Bobby Brown film. He didn't start smoking though. The man was stressed. Really good film. And most of the ladies were at the dinner last night. Like, I walked into the dinner and I was like, oh my God, it's a reunion. Oh, and I got to talk to one of our faves. You never know who's going to be at a dinner with Bevy. That's kind of why I was like, okay, I want to go. Because I was like, I know the room is going to be amazing. But I walked in and Abby from CNN, that's the homie, Tamika Mallory, who's looking fresh and wonderful. She looked so good that I was like, is she getting work done? And better, who's doing it? Because I want a recommendation. Lisa Price from Carol's Daughter, one of my faves. Sunny Hostin from The View and other things. I think she has a new book, doesn't she? She's one of those people that has her hands in a bunch of different plates. Sherry Shepherd was there. We almost fought. Sherry and I share a bestie. I went up to Sherry and I was like, Sherry, I must introduce myself because, you know, my bestie would be very upset if I didn't. And she said, who's your bestie? She got a little territorial because I think she knew who I was talking about. And I was like, John Murray. She was like, Joe, that's my bestie. I was like, oh, is that so? So Sherry insisted that she was the bestie, but also was willing to fight it out and winner takes all. It's like, Sherry, we can't fight. It's like, we are women of a certain age. We have on good dresses. But no, she loves John. He's the EP on her show. He takes really good care of her, and she takes really good care of him. She spoke of him last night in really glowing terms. And I hit John this morning to say, like, oh, I ran into Sherry. These are the things that she said about you. And I was like, yo, that lady, like, legit loves you. Not even just on some work-ish, but on some, like, just loves you-ish. And I was like, well, fine. We can continue to share. Who else was there? I'm going to miss a couple people. Charge it to my head, not my heart, because I wasn't taking notes. Candy Burris was there. Sanaa Lathan was there. Ajmanu Ellis was there. I feel like I'm missing some really big names. Uzu wasn't there. She was working on another project. She wasn't able to make it. Pinky Cole. You know, we've been talking about that Pinky Cole book forever and a day. Pinky is one of my business mentors in my head. I went up to her and she greeted me so warmly. I was like, wait, does she know me? I don't know. But I knew her and I was like, Pinky, I am a huge fan. I was like, I have to tell you, I have this podcast. It's called Ratchet and Respectable. And we have been talking about your book for months now. It's supposed to be one of our book club picks. She was like, well, then why haven't I been on the podcast? And I was like, Pinky, we have the same vision. So she gave me like her cell phone number and was like, call me. I would love to come on the pod. So hopefully, looking like we can make this happen. See, we don't just have to talk about Pinky's book. We could talk to Pinky about Pinky's book. Come on, God, and order my steps. Amen. She's a sweetheart. She's so sweet. Perhaps not in business. You got to be a little bit treacherous, at least in business, to operate the way that she does. But socially, cuddly house cat. Maybe a lion in other places. Oh, Nicole Ari Parker. I had reached out to her also for ABFF, but she was shooting in New York, and that's why she wouldn't be at ABFF. When I tell you I reached out to everybody, did. A lot of folks are actually, this is good, are working right now, and that's why they weren't in Miami. So those are good problems, so no complaints. But she came through last night. You know how folks just look like money? And I was like, I don't know if this is like your hair in real life or this is your hair for the show, but whatever is going on, keep this. I want to say this the correct way. Nicole Ari Parker has always been a beautiful woman, full stop. Whatever she's been doing in the last 5 years, I don't know if this is health. I don't know if this is work. I don't know if it's God. Whatever she's doing, this is the best that she's ever looked. She's got to be in her late 40s, early 50s. Fabulous. What does Bevy like to say? It gets greater. When? Later. Really cute dinner. It was at the Crosby Hotel. They fed us. It was open bar on the good shit. I'm still not drinking though. People are so confused. They're like, is something going on that you need to share? Trying to ask if I'm pregnant. No. Thank you. No. I told y'all I'm trying to like leave the portal open for God to break through. And I just like being clear right now. Kind of. I just don't like being clear when like everybody else around me is drunk. But otherwise, my level of efficiency is through the roof. I mean, I'm late on this podcast right now, but I'm up at 8:30 in the morning recording. Like, give me great. But yeah, so that was last night. The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. So today, I think I'm just going to run around the city. There's a couple museums I want to hit. The Brooklyn Museum has the Swizz and Alicia art collection. I loved when they had Spike Lee's collection. Like, that was freaking amazing. So I'm hoping Alicia and Swizz live up to that. I know they're more art than memorabilia, but their art collection is insane. I know that none of you watch porn, but just in case you have any friends that do, help me pass along this important PSA. Incognito mode does not make you incognito. Check the fine print. All your late night activities are still 100% visible to a ton of third parties, unless you use ExpressVPN. Without ExpressVPN, these third parties can still see every website you visit, even in incognito mode. That means your internet service provider, that means your mobile network provider, and the admins of your Wi-Fi network, whether that's your school, your boss, your parents. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secure encrypted servers, so third parties can't see your browsing history. ExpressVPN works on all your devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay private on the go. And it's rated #1 by top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. I've used ExpressVPN for years, and I love how easy it is to use. Just fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. So simple. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet. If the summer heat has you worried about the strength of your deodorant, listen up. I'm about to turn you on to the only deodorant you'll ever need. It's called Lumi Whole Body Deodorant, and it's formulated for all the places that tend to get stinky when the weather warms up, like your pits, your privates, and your feet. Not only does it go where other deodorants don't, it's also outrageously effective. One application in the morning is clinically proven to block odor all day. So even if this summer feels like you're in Texas, or you literally are in Texas, you don't need to worry. Lumi has you covered for up to 72 hours of odor control. Ready to make this your freshest summer ever? New customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code and link. Use code RATCHET15 at LumiDeodorant.com. That's LumiDeodorant.com. I've been using Lumi for a few years now. Lumi works. I have it on right now. The East Coast is in the middle of a heat wave, and I smell fine. I don't smell like anything. I don't smell. That's the important part. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code RATCHET15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code RATCHET15 at LumiDeodorant.com. We actually have like a ton of news this week. I don't even know if we'll be able to get through everything. I saw Ashanti. You know how excited I am about Ashanti and Nelly and this baby. Ashanti and Nelly, for all the people who be like, where's the ring? Where's the ring? She does have a ring. She talked to E.T. I think this is the first time. People have seen the ring, but Ashanti and Nelly haven't actually spoken about being engaged, to my knowledge. But Ashanti did an interview with Entertainment Tonight, and she confirmed that she was engaged. They were trying to find out the details of the engagement. And she was like, it wasn't anything fancy. She wouldn't really give details, which as an interviewer, I'm going to ask, I'm going to get in your business because that's my job. And if you don't want me to know it, then it's your job not to tell me. You answer sharing what you feel is appropriate to share. The only details she gave to E.T., she wouldn't say when, she wouldn't say where. She said she was wearing Nelly's boxers and a t-shirt when he asked her to marry him. She said it was a beautiful and intimate moment. Those are the only details we got. I'm just happy they together, whether there was a ring or not, whether there was a baby or not. Because I called it. After he took the long walk with the shortest distance across the stage in the middle of a performance, just to get over to Ashanti after years, a damn near a decade, to ask for a damn hug. I was like, he up to something. And was. I don't know how this counts as good black news, but it's on our list. So Michael Ealy is on the new season. I don't even know what the show is called. One of the Power spinoffs, the one starring Tariq. I really have no idea what this show is called. I've never watched an episode. I told y'all after the original Power went 6 seasons, I was like, I'm done. I'm tapping out of this world. Apparently, Starz wants me to come back because there was a scene on Starz with Michael Ealy and Method Man on the screen at the same damn time. And I was like, oh my God, this must be what heaven looks like. I don't think I've watched it with the volume on yet. A bunch of people sent it to me and I just watch it. I don't know or care what they're talking about. Method Man appears to be a lawyer or businessman of some sort. Michael Ealy appears to be a detective. I think I know this because I read up on it. Or maybe I just really picked that up from context. I don't know. Whatever. They're on the screen and it's just bouncing back and forth between Michael Ealy and Meth, Michael Ealy and Meth, Michael Ealy and Meth. And I was like, oh, just wow. 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 It don't make no sense to be that fine. None. Michael Ealy, I love all sizes of Michael Ealy. I like him when he's skinny. I like him when he's thicker. All sizes of Michael Ealy are acceptable to me. That said, he had gotten real thin when he was on Reasonable Doubt. His jawline was like razor sharp. Like it was bones. I wasn't mad at it because I am a Michael Ealy fan. I like you big. I like you small. Not that he's ever been big, but bigger than what he was on Reasonable Doubt. He was tiny. And I was like, I need a little more to hold on to in my imagination. He been eating again. God bless him. He looks a little fuzzy on the show, like a little disheveled, like he's not all like, clean cut, put together. Michael Ealy, I think he's still crazy though. I don't know if he even knows how not to play crazy. I've seen this man play not crazy in one film. It was a romance. Am I thinking of Michael Ealy? Am I thinking of Laz Alonso? No, he definitely was in a romance. I want to say Kevin Hart and Regina Hall. I don't remember who Michael Ealy's person was. But he was not crazy in that film. It was an okay film. He was just kind of there. Just walking around being fine and whatnot. But this scruffy Michael Ealy with the grown out hair and with some man weight. Michael Ealy went and picked up the weight that Laz Alonso lost. I did actually watch The Boys. I did watch it. I didn't make it through all 3 yet. I think I made it like 1.5. It's not gelling for me right now. I don't know why. I've also been watching it late at night after these marathon days. So I haven't been fully alert while I'm watching. That may have something to do with it. I'm not going to declare it a bad show. I've watched it faithfully for 3 seasons. There's a black girl on it now. The black girl is the smartest woman. Person. Because somebody says like, oh, you're the smartest woman. And she was like, smartest person. But that's her superpower. She's the smartest person alive. A black woman with natural hair. A brown black woman. And I was like, oh, okay. They clearly have black people in casting. Okay. There was something else. There was another really big TV thing I wanted to talk about. Oh! Felicia Rashad is headed to the Gilded Age. It's not just her. There's 3 new black people headed over there. I'm pulling it up. Hold on. Felicia Rashad, Gilded Age. You can hear me typing. I'm reading this on Variety. Felicia Rashad, Brian Stokes, Jordan Donica. I'm looking at his hair. He looks Dominican. So I was like, is it Donica or Donica? Felicia Rashad is going to play Mrs. Elizabeth Kirkland. She is described as, quote, a woman from a prominent family in Newport with ties dating back to the American Revolution, who has high standards and an occasionally sharp tongue. Surprise, surprise. She is unwilling to compromise the standards and expectations of her elite and exclusive social group, particularly when it comes to her son. Brian Stokes Mitchell will play her husband, Frederick Kirkland. He is a pastor of a prominent black church and a leader in the Newport community. And Donica Danica will play Elizabeth and Frederick's son, Dr. William Kirkland. He is described as a kind, handsome doctor from the prominent Kirkland family who isn't as narrow-minded as the older members of his elite social circle. He was inspired to help others by becoming a doctor and visiting Arthur Scott's pharmacy as a boy. I'm sorry, Arthur Scott, as in Peggy Scott's father? Is this Dominican-looking dude with long money, is he about to be Peggy's new love interest? Because Peggy's last love interest is fine as hell, but also married with a new baby. Peggy ain't got no business with him. But this man, rich and single, with a family house in Newport, that means they got money. Peggy got money because her dad owns a pharmacy, if not a string of pharmacies. But this dude got Newport money. Peggy's family got Brownstone money. I like this match. I don't know nothing about this man. Well, they said he was kind and handsome and a doctor. He's a doctor. I like this for Peggy. I've claimed this as the new love interest with no information whatsoever. But if he's inspired by Peggy's father, that means there's a connection to Peggy. You don't just bring a fine black man on the show with a single fine black woman and they don't try to at least connect some way, somehow. This is exciting. You know I love The Gilded Age. It's probably my favorite show on television. Also, I haven't watched the latest 2 episodes because I've been traveling around. Clipped on Hulu, FX, one of those, starring Lawrence Fishburne as Doc Rivers. It's the story of the Clippers around the time, you remember when Donald Sterling, he was the owner of the Clippers, he was dating this young woman. She was black and Mexican. She walked around with like one of those reflective visors, but she was his mistress of sorts. Apparently they weren't having sex, according at least to this TV series. She was just flirting with him a bunch, and he spent a bunch of money on her in exchange for her like stroking his ego and walking around in lingerie and rubbing his feet. And I was like, oh, so the Viagra wasn't working? Is that why? Because that doesn't make sense. But he had infamously bought this woman a bunch of stuff. I want to say like he bought her a Ferrari maybe. He bought her $1 million condo, other random gifts, a bunch of like Chanel, Birkins, things like that. And the wife sued the mistress because the husband was spending their money, community property, on the mistress. V. Staviano was her name. And then in revenge for the wife suing her, and then Donald Sterling not like basically calling off the wife's attack, she had been recording his conversations, and he was like a raging racist. They had gotten into an argument, and she went somewhere without him and took a picture with Magic Johnson. And he got mad that she was hanging out with black people and went on this whole rant about how he didn't want black people at his games. And she released the audio and became like this huge scandal. But Clipped, the show, is documenting all of this. Like V. Staviano is probably like the star, if you will, of the show. A lot of it is told from her perspective. I have no idea where this story is going after the V. Staviano drama. I feel like that's not enough to hold 10 episodes. I think even by the end of episode 2, she's already released the tapes. And I think it's like 8 episodes, 10 episodes. And I know there's going to be a story about the fallout, but I was like, that's not enough to sustain 10 episodes. But we'll see. What's the guy from P-Valley? Not Uncle Clifford. Murder? What's the rapper? Is it Lil Murder? Rapper? I'm literally looking at rapper P-Valley. Murder. Who wears the Gucci all the time? Lil Murder. Oh, I did remember his name right. Alphonse Nicholson. Hell of an actor. Because you would swear he was Lil Murder watching P-Valley. But in real life, like, family man, Goo Gob's in love with his, I think, new wife. I think he got married recently. Lovely, by all descriptions. Not that Lil Murder isn't lovely. He's just conflicted. And also, you know, a murderer. Neither here nor there. But he's in Clipped. I think he's playing Chris Paul. Is that all for new TV? Oh, I watched Dragons. HOD is actually what I call it, House of Dragons. The CGI for the dragons is admittedly very, very good. I'm not mad at the extra $2 that HBO is charging for the dragons. It's fine. First episode was it was slow up until the last 5 minutes. I guess the show has been off the air for 2 years, so they figure they have to like bring us back into the world and like catch us up on what's going on. And I was like, yeah, that's what recaps are for. Like I want to jump right into the drama. But the way that the first episode did end, I mean, that was dramatic. I'm trying to avoid giving it away in case you haven't seen it. It hasn't been out for even a week yet. It just came on Sunday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so I don't want to give any major spoilers. But yeah. This season is set up for war, which I think everyone saw coming if you watched the show and you remembered how season 1 ended with the little boy getting burnt off his dragon. Like, that'll do it. That'll do it. Bridgerton, I told you last episode, we talk about Bridgerton this episode. I love Penelope's story. I love her and Colin. I love Penelope and Colin finally getting it on. I think he was digitally pleasuring her. And, you know, because she's never had any sort of pleasure before, she thought that was, you know, the main event. So he did that. And then, you know, he stopped to pull it out. And she was like, oh, my God, why did you stop? And he was like, something like, so we could start. And she was like, wait, there's more? Colin was like, uh-huh. But he said it with such BDE. And I was like, let me find out Colin packing that thing. I was very impressed with Colin, at least at first. His stroke game looked proper from a distance. But then he finished, and you know, it's TV time, so I'm not going to judge how fast the event, you know, started and finished. TV, fine. But Penelope was like, oh, that was good. I want to do it again. And Colin was like, yeah, I need 10 minutes. I was like, sir, you're in your early 20s. You need 10 minutes of recovery in your early 20s? Colin may need some Viagra. It's like 300 years early, but I was like, sir, in your early 20s, you should have a much quicker recovery time. I was like, I have dated men in their 40s that don't have that issue. How is that your issue? I was very confused. My only real criticism of this Bridgerton, couples I didn't care about. The other Bridgerton girl who got married, Daphne's little sister, don't care. Not in the least bit. Her and her husband are weird. They're like, oh, we're shy. We just don't like being around a bunch of people. Like, we like music. Like, they were a nice match. I thought they were a good fit for each other. I also thought that the sister, the way she was stumbling over old boy's sister, I was like, she dates women. She's a woman who loves women. Because she ain't never been that flustered, not a day in her life, not over the man she married, but his sister. She got tongue-tied for it. And I was like, I mean, black women are magic. But I was like, she was doing a lot for just the sister. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I knew something was off. I'm not saying being a lesbian is off. I'm just saying, like, I knew something was off with her and that man. And then when the woman came, it went off no more. And I was like, oh, she's on. Okay. I didn't care not 2 bits about their storyline. They could have completely not existed. I like Lil Mean. What's her name? Clarissa? I like Lil Mean Clarissa. I liked Penelope and her feud with her bestie. I thought that was good storyline. I liked the mother and Lady Danbury and Lady Danbury's brother. I like that situation going on. I like to see more of that. I would like to see more of Lady Danbury and a potential love interest. Old girl's father from 40 years ago can't be the end of her story. We need to bring somebody in for her. I like everything the queen has going on. I just like that character. I wish she had more story than just trying to figure out who Lady Whistledown was. The Indian girl and the other Bridgerton boy that got married last season, I wasn't interested in them last season. I really didn't need to see them this season. Like, they can go the way of Simon and Daphne, in which, like, we know they're together and we just never see them. Like, they live happily ever after off screen and we just see them as background characters. Like, we get an update that, like, oh, they're pregnant. That's amazing. And then we never see them again. I just didn't care. I wasn't into them the first time around. I saw a lot of people who were upset about the black couple. The guy used to be a boxer and then he owned a club. And then, like, his son got a title, which made them all, like, super fancy. I would have loved to see more of their story. I saw, like, an article that was complaining. They were like, this couple was unnecessary. And I was like, y'all are saying that because they're black. And I might be thinking they're more necessary because they're black. And I like to see black people on screen. I'll accept that. They didn't have a lot of story. And there were a lot of competing stories this season. But they aren't the one I would cut. But yeah, otherwise, I thought it was a really good season. Like, I don't really shout at the TV very often. I told y'all last episode, like, I was full on yelling. I mean, everything from get it, Colin, get it, Colin, get it, Colin, to like, no. Oh my God, no. Like, so much blackmail, so much intrigue, so much drama. If you want to annul the wedding, I understand. I am an honorable man. I have dishonored you. I will marry you. But what kind of marriage will this be? Oh, the drama of it all. I loved it. Step into summer with style and ease, thanks to one of our favorite sponsors, Jeannie Kane. I finally found a wardrobe that I'm completely obsessed with. Jeannie Kane is a California brand through and through, and their staples make getting dressed effortless. Perfect for my summer aesthetic. Think minimalist and refined with pieces like luxury cashmere sweaters and iconic accessories to elevated versions of all your everyday basics. Jeannie Kane has everything you need to embrace your uniform, not to mention the most incredible home essentials too. Jeannie Kane is here to help you live your best season yet. And for a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order. Go to jeanniekane.com and use the code RATCHET to get 15% off. I love my Jeannie Kane pieces. I get compliments every time I wear a Jeannie Kane sweater, and they're so comfortable, I can live in them all year long. It's what they're known for, these super luxe yet lightweight sweaters, perfect for spring and summer vibes, and trust us, they do relaxed knits better than anyone. The Cooper cardigan is so cute with its button accents and flattering silhouette, making it a perfect lightweight layer for cool evenings and air-conditioned spaces. Find your new uniform at jeanniekane.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code RATCHET at checkout. That's 15% off your first order. JENNIKAYNE.com. Promo code RATCHET. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Embrace your summer aesthetic with Jeannie Kane. Curious about how you can achieve smooth, natural-looking, long-lasting filler results? The Juvederm collection of fillers has 6 unique gel fillers that add subtle volume and are designed for different needs in specific areas of the face, like lips, cheeks, chin, smile lines, under eyes, and jawline. Ask your licensed specialist for a full face assessment today. And download the Ally app. That's ALLE, the official loyalty program of Juvederm, to save on treatments and get a look that's true to you. For important safety information and to find licensed specialists, visit juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you. Hey y'all, let me put you on to something real quick. I've got something you need to check out. You ever heard of the BLK app? That's BLK, not black, the BLK app. If not, you're missing out. So, check it. BLK is the largest dating and lifestyle app made specifically for the Black community. Now, for those thinking it's just the same old scene, no. BLK switched things up. Sure, you can find your boo, that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking to just make friends, network, group chat with folks based on shared interests, or find out about events happening near you, BLK's got all that too. The app's been around for almost 7 years now, and over 11 million people have downloaded it. Crazy! That's like the populations of New York City and LA combined. If you've downloaded the app before and deleted it, re-download it because they've introduced a bunch of new features. And it's new people to meet on there. Oh, and did I mention that it's free? Yep, free. All right, I did my good deed for the day by putting you on. So go download BLK today in the App Store or on Google Play. It's free, it's fun, it's for us. Check it out and let me know what you think. What else do we have? We're not going to be able to get through everything. We'll have to save some stuff for Friday. That's fine. I do want to mention, though, that because many of you sent me the update and we've been waiting on this. I actually forgot about it because it's been so long. The Brooklyn bishop who got convicted of scamming his church members, he was convicted earlier this year. He was sentenced a couple days ago. I'm going to pull this up on the New York Daily News. Bishop Lamar Whitehead, Bling Bishop. That's what the New York Daily News calls him. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison for multiple scams. The judge also ordered Whitehead to pay $85,000 in restitution and forfeit $95,000. She said Whitehead's crimes were dishonest, any one of which would warrant a substantial sentence. This will be his second stint in prison for about the same thing. The judge told him, "You don't seem to have an appreciation of the impact of your crimes." And if you just need a quick recap, the biggest crime here is that he was a church leader, his Brooklyn bishop. One of his parishioners gave him $85,000 of her retirement savings to buy and renovate a fixer-upper home. He just took the money and the Fed showed that he spent the cash on designer clothing. They should say designer fabric. He be dressed and he's well tailored. I'll give him credit for the tailoring, but these well tailored head to toe Gucci and Fendi suits, and I was like, they do not sell that. They do not sell that. Where is that fabric coming from? It's better than Canal Street, but it ain't actual Gucci or Fendi. But he spent part of that $85,000 on fabric that looks like designer clothing, a BMW, Grubhub, and Foot Locker. The woman said the theft of her savings had led to emotional, physical, and financial turmoil, and she told the court, "I was left with nothing." She said that she'd had many sleepless nights, and that incident, quote, "broke my heart, my spirit, and my soul." Whitehead did speak to the judge to plead his case, literally. The Daily News notes that instead of his fancy suits, that he was wearing beige prison clothing and shackles around his ankles. He said he's endured barbaric treatment at the Metropolitan Detention Center where he's being held. He said he's only showered 4 times in the past month, and he was given rotten milk. Daily News also notes that he's a father of 4. I knew about the 2 kids he has with my friend, and then the one baby, the little girl that he has with his current wife. He said that he didn't speak with his children on Father's Day due to a lockdown at the federal jail. He pleaded with the judge about his children. He said, quote, "They need their father in their life." He says he knew what it meant not to grow up with a dad, and he pleaded with the judge for no prison time and to let him be, quote, "the poster child of another chance." Sir, you've been to jail before and got out, and you did the same shit or about the same shit a second time. Are you kidding me? That would be at least a 3rd chance, no? He said, as far as remorse, I'm very remorseful. I hate to see anyone hurt. And he later added, "Your Honor, I am an honorable man." Sir. His defense attorney, they tried. I'll give him credit. They tried. Dawn Florio. Florio says her client has maintained the feds targeted him because of his close relationship with the mayor, who's known the convicted pastor since his days as Brooklyn Borough president. I take no joy in this. I mean, I think he deserves to be locked up. I think he's guilty of all the things that he's been found guilty of. I think the sentencing is accurate. This isn't his first offense. He's scamming people in the name of God. I mean, scamming people bad. Scamming people in Jesus' name, worse. I take no delight in this story. This is my friend's ex-husband. And more importantly, they have 2 children together. She'll be fine, and her kids will be fine. They will lack for nothing. Their mother and her family will provide them with everything they could possibly need and then some. That said, her kids are, I want to phrase this correctly, children need their parents at every age. But her boys especially are at an age where they really need their father's guidance. They are young men growing into men, and not having your father's presence for 9 years of your life, especially at this stage of their life, is a huge loss. He might not have been shit as a pastor. He might not have been shit as a husband. I've not heard my friend complain about him as a father. So my empathy is with his children. He also for sure has a young daughter. The article mentioned 4 children. I'm not sure about the 4th. But that young baby, the one who was in the church when it got robbed, that baby might be 3. Her father's gone for 9 years. Will she even remember him? Sure, her mother could take her up to the jail, but that's going to be the memory of her father, is going up to the jail to see him. Sad, man. He just fucked up royally and fucked up other people's lives in the process. Again, the again part is the part that gets me. I'm like, you've been through this before. Like, you know what devastation it caused. And you did it again. And all this shit for Grubhub, Foot Locker, and knockoff Fendi and Gucci. Nigga. You know how I am. I'm like, I love a good budget well spent. I was like, sir, like, you scam for the budget and then they spend it well. The fuck? Alright, that's the episode. There's more. We ain't gonna get to it this week. We gotta save some for Fridays. We gotta talk about the Tonys, because a bunch of black people won. And then Usher. Usher's in Milan. Usher was in DC. Alright, back on Friday with more. Bye. Hey y'all, let me put you on to something real quick. I've got something you need to check out. You ever heard of the BLK app? That's BLK, not black, the BLK app. If not, you're missing out. So, check it. BLK is the largest dating and lifestyle app made specifically for the black community. Now, for those thinking it's just the same old scene, no. BLK switched things up. Sure, you can find your boo, that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking to just make friends, network, group chat with folks based on shared interests, or find out about events happening near you, BLK's got all that too. The app's been around for almost 7 years now, and over 11 million people have downloaded it. Crazy! That's like the populations of New York City and LA combined. If you've downloaded the app before and deleted it, re-download it because they've introduced a bunch of new features. And it's new people to meet on there. Oh, and did I mention that it's free? Yep, free. All right, I did my good deed for the day by putting you on. So go download BLK today in the App Store or on Google Play. It's free, it's fun, it's for us. Check it out and let me know what you think. Want a more youthful look by addressing volume loss in the cheeks? With Juvederm Voluma XC, you can get smooth, long-lasting, natural-looking results for lift and contour in the cheeks that last up to 2 years with optimal treatment. For important safety information and to find a licensed specialist, visit juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you.